Welcome back to the Agents Confidential podcast. Yana, what do we have today?
Today, we are going to talk about cognitive fluency. If you're an agent, have you ever wondered why some messages just click while the others have people confused or tuned out? It's not about being clever, it's about being clear. So today, Eric, we're going to dive into a secret weapon in marketing and sales called cognitive fluency. This is the science of making things feel easy to understand. Let's break down how to use this principle to make your messages stick, build trust, and drive action. So, Eric, what is cognitive fluency? Let's talk about it.
Cognitive fluency is the idea that people prefer things that are easy to think about and process. When something feels easy to understand, we're more likely to trust it, believe it, and act on it. The brain is actually lazy in a smart way. It wants to conserve energy. I know mine does. So when it encounters something that's fluent, clear, simple, and familiar, it gives it a thumbs up. When it encounters something disfluent or complex, unfamiliar, hard to read, it throws up friction. Let's talk about some real-world applications in marketing. So clear is greater than clever. Here's an example of something fluent. Turning 65 will help you choose the right Medicare plan. This next one would be disfluent. Your Medicare eligibility window is closing. Are your ducks in a row? It sounds clever, but people don't know what it means. Even if the second one is clever, it slows the brain down, and that kills trust.
Yeah. And speaking of trust, simple visuals. Simple visuals also equate to higher trust. So things like a clean design, legible fonts, and clear calls to action all feel safer to the brain, making it easier for people to take action. Studies show that even pronounceable names increase trust in brands and investments. Just like simple visuals, the brain really likes things that it's seen before. This is where the mere exposure effect ties in. So when you hear things like step-by-step system, here's the blueprint, let's break it down. Because they sound safe, familiar, and fluent, it helps to increase that trust and drive decisions.
That one reminds me of what we call like a drip campaign. Familiarity takes time, right?
And repetition.
Right. So you need to, when I talk about a drip, I'm imagining a drip on my shoulder while we're talking. And I'm trying to stay engaged. I may not even be recognizing it the first couple times I see it. And we've talked before about the 14 impressions before you really make an impact on somebody's feelings. So think about repeating the message in a very similar way so it can become familiar to your audience.
And in your marketing, this looks like using your brand. And in marketing, like on social media and stuff like that, that applies to using your logo, using the same call to action, using the same fonts and colors, and also in post consistency. This helps to keep your brand familiar, and please, please, please repeat posts. Never feel afraid about repeating posts on social media because that's all going to add up and make you more familiar.
Let's talk about why this matters for agents. So insurance is inherently complex. The more cognitive fluency you bring to your sales pitch, your marketing content, website and sales materials, the more likely people are to trust you, engage, buy, and refer.
Definitely. Complexity isn't just annoying, it's a conversation killer, honestly. I'm going to chat a little bit about something. The opposite of cognitive fluency is called cognitive load. And cognitive fluency is all about ease. And cognitive load is about how much effort it takes to understand something. So when the load is high, fluency drops and decisions stall. So your job is to raise the fluency of things, make things more simple, easy to understand so that people can make decisions faster.
By lightening the load as well. So you take a complex idea, simplify this, and use less options in the end. We were talking about this in prep earlier, and I just want to get this out. It's very important for agents to offer a multitude of products to their clients. When I say that, I mean, have them in your repertoire, I think about it like a quiver of arrows where you can pull any carrier out and use it at any time. time. I don't think one needs to present all of those options
Right.
because it is going to complicate and slow things down, and you're going to get paralysis by analysis. I think explaining to your client, I've looked through all of these plans from A to Z of all the carriers, and these are my two highest recommendations. We can go down the list of 3, 4, 5, but I find that most clients generally pick one of the first two I show them. Can we go through these? Or
Yeah.
do you want to be here for 4 hours longer and hear them all? Right? They're
Yeah.
going to, what do you got? Right?
Yeah.
And you present your options. If they're total airballs or the people aren't really sure, you can go deeper.
Yeah.
But I think starting with, I'll throw in this little story, a real life out of the industry of insurance example. A shoe salesman had won an award for selling the most amount of shoes in a period for the company. He was asked to speak about his technique so he could help other salespeople sell more shoes. And he said it's simple, 2, not 3. And what that means is when somebody asked for a pair of shoes, he would bring them 2 at the same time. And when they asked for a third, the salesperson would say, which one of the first 2 do you want me to take away? Meaning you're saying no to these. Unless they're looking to buy, multiple pairs of shoes for a different reason. But what he found was when you show 2, you at least sell 1. When you show 3, you typically sell 0. So keep it simple, stupid, right?
Yeah.
Great KISS theory of give people really good choices in the first 2 so that for whatever reason, let's say they say, no, I don't trust that company. I've heard bad things, whatever. I don't like this or that. Then you literally take it off the table and bring in the next option so they have 2 to choose from.
For sure. I love that one. That's how they sold me my ski boots.
Exactly right. And probably made it a enjoyable process versus wondering.
It made it really easy.
Yeah.
Cognitive fluency can apply to a lot of different things, but specifically in like your marketing content, your website, you want to make things as easy as possible for people to understand so that they can choose to work with you faster. I do have a quick self-audit for you agents. It's a little checklist that you can use today to audit your cognitive fluency. Here are 4 questions that you can ask yourself. The first one is this message written at an 8th grade reading level or below? Next one is, could someone skim this in 5 seconds and get the gist? And then we have, does the design have white space, simple fonts, and a clear design hierarchy? And then the last one, am I using familiar words instead of jargon? Just take a quick audit of your website, your sales pitch, your marketing content, and just do a quick checklist and make adjustments accordingly.
We have a new employee. We were in a meeting the other day and we were using all our acronyms.
I know.
And I could just see the glaze going over her eyes just because she hasn't been exposed to it before.
Yeah.
Where if you see that in your clients and you just keep using MOOP and all these different acronyms that one uses in a meeting, making sure they understand them.
Yeah, for sure. I know it took me a long time, probably a couple of years of working in the industry to actually understand all these things. So be patient with your clients and make it as easy as possible to understand. Ultimately, when in doubt, simplify. The clearer your message, the faster the trust, and in a world full of noise and complexity, simplicity is your competitive edge. Cognitive fluency isn't just a marketing trick, it's a trust-building tool. So go back to your website, your pitch, your next post, and ask, does this feel easy? If not, it's time to smooth it out and watch the conversions follow.
So in recap, like Yana was saying, look at your messaging, listen to your messaging when you're talking with people. Are you being clear so that they can make easier decisions on what they want to do because we're not adding complexity? If you need help reading that label from outside the bottle, we're here. I'm sure you have colleagues, friends, family that could do it as well. But let us know. Reach out to us. We'd be happy to help you review and refine your messaging. This was another episode of Agents Confidential, trying to help agents grow their business. We'll see you on the next one.
And if you gained any value from this, tell your friends.